Daniel, how big was that win?
Yes, it was of course an important win for us. 3 points, a clean sheet win, and good for the confidence, good for the mood, good for the table. Much
For him just to let the guys score, and then you have 11 against 11.
Yeah, of course, and I think Cookie knows that as well. I think it's just something he's done purely on instinct. You know, we have to support him at this time. I think it's just one of those things that he couldn't help.
You're still bottom of the Premier League, but do you feel there's a belief in the squad that this can be done?
Yeah, of course there is. Maybe other people doesn't believe in us, but we will not lose our belief till the end. We will keep fighting, and I still trust we can do this.
It was the first step. We are not overexcited today, but definitely a good first step. But we know that probably we need 6 more wins and also a few draws, and it will be a long road. But it was definitely a good start.
If I knew there was one thing I could do, then obviously I would go away and do it. Can I work harder? No, I don't think I can. Otherwise, I would. You know, you lay it out every day to try and give the team the best possible chance of winning. It's not happening at the moment, and we're in this business to get points and to get wins and to achieve our objectives. And if you're not doing that, then certainly it's a difficult time.
Yep, testing times for Bournemouth. Great win for Norwich, but Bournemouth are in a rut, Alan. There's no question about that. 4 points from 12 games.
I've got to praise Norwich first of all, Gary, because they thoroughly deserved their 3 points, deserved their clean sheet, and were the better team from start to finish. But from a Bournemouth point of view, no team has scored fewer goals than them. Lost their last 4 without scoring, and this is why. All these clips here were when it was 11 v 11, and Callum Wilson here, this is his first effort on target since the beginning of October. Now, they hardly create any chances. Now, what is he meant to do here with this ball? He's all right. It's a long ball in behind, trying to take the pressure up, but there's no support up there for him whatsoever. Everyone is miles away from him. The next clip, they work the ball well on the left-hand side, get a ball into the box, but look again. 1v3, he's the only one in the box again. All right, it's not a great ball in. Norwich clear it away easily. Then, how can he do anything with this? He flicks it on, it's a good header. Now the two of them should be running in behind, both Fraser and Wilson. Get up there, give him support, try and help him. They've got to have runners in behind. Now this last 15 minutes, when it's 10 v 10 again, they're chasing the game, they've got to score, they've still got one up there. Where's Solanke? Trying in midfield there. And that's the reason why they're not going to score goals, Gary. Yeah. Really, really tough time for him and for Bournemouth. And the next two, Brighton and Villa, are at home. Yeah. Big games.
Well, the graphic says everything, doesn't it, there? An extraordinary red card. Steve Cook, it was quite a save.
It's the last thing that Eddie Howe needs. You know, like they said there, once he's gone through, you know, he said it's instinct, but it was a magnificent save. But you know, you've got to let this go in. You've got to. We've got to have a goal of a save of the season just to put this in. It's for him to get off the ground and put that and save that was unbelievable. But like, that's the last thing that they need.
It's good football from Norwich that led to that goal. We also saw a bit of history, didn't we? Paul Tierney going to the monitor, and the first time that's happened in the Premier League, and he's overturned his decision.
Yeah.
He's got a little word in his ear to have a look.
VAR recommended he go and have another look at.
And it's right?
Yeah, it was right, absolutely. Yeah, it's a poor challenge. It was similar to the one we saw with Aubameyang last weekend. It was high. So he got that one correct, and it deserved a red card. And there's no complaints, I don't think, from any of the Norwich players, and they understood it was a red card.
Can you see either of these teams staying up, or which one do you think is most likely to stay up?
I don't see either team staying up.
I don't see them staying up.
Oh, their fans won't like that. But before Manchester City versus Crystal Palace, we'd just like to say happy birthday to Pep Guardiola. Hope the club remembered a cake. 4 previous City managers have taken charge of a Premier League match on their birthday. All of them failed to win. It took me hours to do the research.
For 85, 86 minutes at that stage, perhaps didn't deserve that. But great credit to the players, really. Their refusal, if you like, to accept that, okay, we played well, we've worked hard, but it just wasn't to be because we're playing against such a good team, to believe that they can get back in it and get an equaliser. I think that's an enormous credit for them.
Well, it was a tight game. We did everything. They arrived 2 times and unfortunately could not win. It's difficult to analyze when they shoot one corner and one counter-attack then. I think they have no more chances, and we were there many times and unfortunately could not win.
After the end of the game, we are all angry and sad because I think we deserve more. For 1 or 2 seconds, we not focused or not ready on the ball. Everything can happen.
It was a great game. I loved to play. The team, the lads, they had a great effort today. After the 2-1, we never gave up, and I just want to say thank you to everyone because we ran so much today just to get the point. At the end, I think we deserved it.
Yeah, terrific effort from Crystal Palace once again at the home of Manchester City, and who had, you have to say, 25 shots and numerous chances, but at the other end they're vulnerable, and they have been all season. I suppose they've lost Laporte with injury and company. Obviously,
Mendy said it. You know, they switched off for a couple of seconds and they get punished. You look at Gary Cahill there, one of the best headers in the Palace side. No one's picking him up. And then you look on the other side, it looks like Cenk Tossen's got a free header. But when you look at him with Bernardo Silva here, he's got him. But then he leaves him. Him and Gundogan leave him. They're both ball watching a free header. And you know, that between them, especially James McCarthy was fantastic today. But between Ayew, Tossen and Wilfried Zaha, they were brilliant. But this is it here. You look at him here. That's Stones and Cancelo going for the same ball. And then once they lose that, then this guy who was fantastic today, James McCarthy. Look at Wilfried Zaha in the space. And for me, at some stage, I do believe he's got to be engaged. John Stones has got to go and stop him. Wilfried Zaha in this position is going to cause you a problem. Doesn't get anywhere near him at any stage. And, you know, in the end, it goes in off Fernandinho. When you look at it here, got to go to him. He's running away from him. And then when you're going towards your own goal like that with a ball coming in at that pace, you can't sort his feet out, and they get, for me, what they deserve, Palace, because they did defend well, even though the second goal was it was in a lot of space, Aguero, but they were brilliant today. They deserve something.
They conceded 27 goals this season. They only conceded 23 all in last year. Says a lot.
You said it. It's because of the loss of Laporte. Yeah. He's a fantastic player, and you're going to miss him, and they have.
VAR overruled penalty decision. The referee had given it for handball, bounced off his leg, hit his hand. VAR correct again, I think?
Yes, they were, because Law 12, which I've had a look at, and say that they not usually an offence when the ball comes off any part of your body and hits your hand directly.
Off your own body.
Off your own body.
That's right.
And hits your hand. So they got that one right, and there's not much you can do about that, really.
No.
So,
there you go.
Yep.
So far, so good for VAR this evening. 5 games still to come, though.
Joelinton off the crossbar. And Leno has to make the save. It's more. Good save by Reina. And Walcott with a chance.
You know, congratulations, your assessment of that match.
Yeah, first half Southampton was much better than us. Even though we started well, the first time they went to the goal set pieces, they scored. The second goal, with bad defending, they score, and they pressed very hard, didn't allow us to play. But I think the reaction was good, and this is what's all about, reacting, knowing what's wrong, looking at the game, and the boys did well.
I think the crucial decision was the penalty today for me. This changed the game in the end, because for me it was absolutely the right decision what the referee did.
So you don't think it was a foul at all on Johnny that led to that incident?
I think Cedric was in front of him, so it was 2 against 1, and he had no chance to put on the ball because Cedric was in front of him. So for me it's absolutely right that the referee said no. We didn't defend it aggressive enough, I think, in the second half. We made a good first half. We knew that we have a tough opponent, and I think in the end, it was a lesson for us in the second half. But the way how it happened is hard to understand.
Was there anything specific you said at half-time to spark that great turnaround?
No, we said a lot of things, but we know each other very well. We adjust, and the boys believe it. Because this is the game, this is why we love football, never finishes till the end.
You are now the top scorer for Wolves in the Premier League, in their history in the division. How proud are you of that?
Well, I'm very proud of me, of my teammates that helped me to achieve this. I want to keep scoring and keep doing well to score more goals.
Yeah, what a comeback, and what a player, Raul Jimenez. What a striker, all-round game. He's excellent, Ian, and he's a match winner again today.
Yeah, he was, and you know, Traore's got to get a mention as well. His improvement and his final ball and the composure he's showing now with these two, they're just lethal. They're lethal up front now. Yes, they do. They didn't play very well in the first half. Southampton were very good, but when you look at this situation, great play from him, getting the first ball, and then once you get Traore in this position, don't dive in too late. Once he gets past him, Neto's in the box. Really good play from Neto. Good ball in from Traore, and they finish. Great penalty from him. We'll see that later how that comes about. Again, good link-up play here. He goes through. He just needs to lay this into him. You see Traore getting in the middle, and this was good play. Made sure that the defender didn't get to head it away anywhere. Then he's got onto it. He's composed now. He's calm. Before you wouldn't see this from him. Takes his time, looks up, and that. He's brilliant. 19 goals this season. You know, he's just such a good finisher. He's just so good. And the way that Traore is improving as well, you can only see good things coming.
19 goals and 9 assists.
I mean, look at this as well. Wolves coming from behind in so many times this season.
Fantastic, yeah.
Impressive stuff. Right, Ralph Hasenhüttl didn't think it was a penalty. I think we don't agree with him necessarily.
No, I thought it was a clear and obvious penalty, and that is what VAR is for. The referee, for some reason, didn't think it was a penalty, and VAR have corrected him. And Cedric and Stevens take Johnny out there. None of them touch the ball, and they wipe him out, and that is a clear and obvious penalty.
Wolves not far off the top four. It's not inconceivable.
No,
given the inconsistency.
Well, especially with that forward line, the way he holds that ball up, Jimenez, and with the runners and the pace they've got off him, they're a dangerous team. Very good team to watch as well.
The bottom two faced off at Carrow Road. No team had conceded more goals than Norwich. No team had scored fewer goals than Bournemouth.
But we always carry a threat. Today, we didn't seem to carry a threat, but one great ball, one great delivery, and you can call it smash and grab or whatever you want to call it. It was good for them as well. We had one or two coming back, which was good to see.
To score a goal in the last minutes to win a game at St James's Park and the Gallagher End doesn't get much better than that playing for Newcastle.
The lads have got their heads down in there and they'll have to get them up quickly, but I understand why they have, because they give everything. But you know, the brutal reality of football, and we're not naive, we understand it, is that if you don't score, teams stay in the game, and something like that happens at the end. There's been so many huge positives of that season, but if we want to go to the next level and want to bridge the gap, we have to take chances. We have to be able to score goals in these kind of games.
You were quite restrained compared to one former Newcastle number 9 in our studio.
You got a bit excited, didn't you, King Al? Well, let's see if we can dust him down, get ready for Tuesday night, and I'm delighted that he's been caught, but it's good to see he's still a supporter at heart, like we all are. Fantastic.
King Al? King? Jeez, what the game coming to? I don't know. We'll look at that possibly shortly. But it was Newcastle defence really that deserves most credit.
Oh, they were absolutely superb, Gary. To and they came under so much pressure from Chelsea, but they stood firm, and that was their formation, and it has been for a lot this season, and they do it very, very well. They're tight, they're compact. If they don't win the first one, they often win the second one. The block there, as I said, they didn't get that one, but they blocked it. Fernandes, who I thought was absolutely superb, his positioning all game was magnificent, and leadership qualities right throughout that back five. A header again, positioning superb. I mean, that's going to be in the back of the net if he doesn't get there. Kieran Clark, who I thought was man of the match, he didn't put a foot wrong in the game. Everything he did was almost perfection, and for all their possession, Chelsea, 70% of it, they didn't work the goalkeeper enough. But I don't care who you are and how many men you're going to commit forward. If you're going to have those numbers like that defending, it's going to be very, very difficult to get through. And Chelsea found it difficult to get through and didn't create enough chances because of that, because of the work rate and effort and the organisation that were Newcastle, and that sort of tip provided and he didn't. And when you stay in the game, as they did, and you've got someone who can whip a ball in with that quality, then you'll have a chance. Yes, of course it was smash and grab, but their work rate and their effort and their endeavour and all of those things, in terms of that, they deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, they were obviously very dominant in the game overall, Chelsea. Could they have done something different, Ian, perhaps to ensure they did score?
I felt like when we saw those clips, a lot of those clips, they were continuously going into Newcastle's strength inside. I thought they could have gone a little bit wider, but what you see, which is evident for everyone to see, is that special player that can open them up, open a team like this up when they needed it, and they don't have that anymore.
For all of their possession and movement and all of the other things that they did, they only had 4 efforts on target, Chelsea.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so the best till last. Now, I just stuck my little camera on Alan Shearer just in case Newcastle equalised, or went ahead, sorry, and won the game in the very last minute, and this was your reaction.
Oh, yeah, I apologise. It was,
look at his daddy dance, look.
Awful.
That was
awful.
It was quite exciting in there, I must admit.
I would have done the same. Yeah, it was Leicester. Time for Mike Dean's big moment. His 500th top flight game saw him take charge of Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Jonathan Pearce was at the Emirates.
Milestone matches for referees. What will we be celebrating next? Fair to say they won't be erecting statues to Mike Dean here. Arsene Wenger once called him a disgrace. Mike's always been strong-willed. Water up a duck's back, that. 18-year-old Gabriel Martinelli comes in for the Gunners with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang suspended. Mustafi starts for only the second time this campaign because Socrates is ill, and with Kolasinac ruled out injured, Yato Sacco again has to fill in at left back. At least Lucas Torreira is fit after going off at Palace, and Nketiah's back from loan at Leeds on the bench. Elise Mousset replaces David McGoldrick in Sheffield United's only change to freshen up the front two. They're looking for their first league double over Arsenal since 1946-47 in what could really become a romantic chase for a European place. Mike Dean's name was read out to the crowd beforehand. It was booed. Here comes Ender Stevens. That's a good ball in and a chance for Mousset between the two centre-halves. Arsenal trying to readjust in the absence of Socrates, who's been a regular there alongside Luis. Mustafi back into the side. Cross was beyond him, and Luis allowed the free header by Mousset. A strong ball away, and they've got a chance to get the cross in. But already mumblings and discontent amongst Arsenal fans. Good start by Sheffield United here. They've started as they've started so many away games, positively, and they look for the back stick, and then a back across goal by O'Connell. It's a second opportunity already. The flag was up anyway, wouldn't have counted. Twice he's found himself in good positions, Lys Mousset, and twice he's failed to hit the target. He's on there. He's definitely on. Back-to-back defeats for Sheffield United at Liverpool and Manchester City. They've won the previous 9 unbeaten. Ender Stevens here under pressure. Pepe's away from him. Across the far stick. Martinelli! Arsenal's first major attack of the game. Couldn't find the target after a good sweeping, quick counter. Dancing between two. still going on, and cuts the pass to Martinelli. It's a goal kick only. Decent move by Arsenal because